and that in fact he had been sexually forced and abused by Sai Baba in almost every single interview he had ever been in.
What did you feel like as his mother and father listening to that?
It's like everything went white for me. I just...
Well,
why didn't you tell your parents?
well, because he would tell me not to tell them. He would threaten me. I mean, I remember him saying, if you don't do what I say, your life will be full with pain and suffering. And that's a pretty heavy thing to hear, being 16, and God's telling you, do what I say, or your life is going to be filled with pain and suffering.
And he said, and I was afraid, he said, I was so afraid that I would be responsible for bringing down the organization
and possibly losing us.
That I would lose my parents. He said, I was afraid that you guys might choose to follow Sai Baba and I would be without my family and no one in the world I would be alone.
What do you think now, looking at all these things that were so cherished by you?
Really, one word comes to my mind when I look at this box, and I would say that this is a box of bribes.
Yeah.
Sri S.A. Kalwani of Indonesia.
At 78, Sai Baba is becoming frail. His reputation is also showing signs of strain. But his support from India's power elite is as strong as ever. Prime ministers and presidents, judges and generals all go to worship at the ashram.
His Excellency the President of India.
Even the newly elected leader has paid his respects.
The Honourable Mr. Manmohan Singh.
The people at the top are aware of the rumours as they've been around for at least 30 years. 3 years ago, in response to claims against Sai Baba, the former Prime Minister Atal Vajpayee issued a letter on his official notepaper, calling the allegations wild, reckless and concocted. Did the government of India know something? Had they investigated Sai Baba and found him to be as pure as he proclaimed? I went to Delhi, the political heart of India, to find out why successive governments have given him such support.
Do you agree with the contents of Mr. Vajpayee's letter?
I do agree that these charges appear to be baseless.
Are you aware of the nature of the claims against Sai Baba?
Well, I have read something.
Mm-hmm.
And I know Sai Baba very well. I know most of these people very well. Mm-hmm. And I can say that whatever Mr. Vajpayee has said is the correct position.
The correct position for Mr. Joshi and other former government ministers appears to have been side by side with Sai Baba. Until the recent election, he was a senior minister in the Indian government, a powerful man. We were interested to know if any future investigation of Sai Baba had been compromised by the former Prime Minister's letter.
Isn't the point, really, that any possible investigation by the state of Sai Baba would be compromised?
No, there is no question. Any false allegation. I know that this is a case in which your BBC is involved and people from England have been making certain charges against Sai Baba, but that doesn't make that the charges are true.
I just wanted to know whether you think that there's a danger that the Indian government could be bringing itself into disrepute by so many leading members of this government being associated.
No. Not so.
Not so.
Mr. Joshi would brook no criticism. He was starting to lose his temper.
It is your intention to malign Sai Baba. It is your intention to malign Mr. Vajpayee and Mr. Bhagwati.
Not at all.
This is, and nothing beyond it.
No, it's not.
It is.
I know what it. I know.
I say the punkt. No. You know the meaning of interviewing a minister in my capacity as a minister of my stature?
Of course I understand.
You don't understand it.
Not every government I discovered is so enamored with Sai Baba. The scale of the abuse has caused alarm around the world. In Sweden, a Sai Baba school closed down after disturbing revelations from a young boy. The American government is also concerned. On the website of the American Embassy in Delhi, there's a warning to any US citizen visiting the state of Andhra Pradesh. It draws attention to a noted godman who reportedly indulges in inappropriate sexual behavior with young male devotees. We contacted the US Embassy in Delhi and they confirmed to us for the first time that they're directly referring to Sai Baba. Sex abuse is not the only controversy tainting the godman's reputation. On a June night back in 1993, 4 devotees broke into Sai Baba's quarters. They were armed with knives. Their motives are unclear. All 4 were close to Sai Baba. Some say they wanted to warn him about corruption in the ashram. Others claim their intention was to kidnap or even kill Sai Baba. As they approached, they were stopped by 4 of Sai Baba's attendants. In the struggle that followed, 2 of his attendants were killed and the other 2 badly injured. Hearing the commotion, Sai Baba escaped through a back stairway and raised the alarm. Heavily armed police arrived on the scene.
So these boys, they ran and locked themselves up in a room. And then the whole, all around, a lot of pandemonium, and people gathered. So the boys were shivering like rats in that small hole.
The 4 men barricaded themselves into Sai Baba's bedroom. There was a standoff with the police. Then the order was given to go in. What happened next is hotly disputed. The official version seemed clear.
These 4 boys charged towards the police with the knives and started stabbing the inspector and other personnel. Because they were attacked, they opened fire.
In self-defense?
In self-defense. They opened fire and killed all the 4 boys. This is the police story.
Velayuddin Nair rejects the police version of events. He should know. Until 2002, he was Home Secretary of Andhra Pradesh and in charge of the state police. On coming to office, he examined the files and found that the original police report was riddled with lies and inconsistencies. This was later exposed by a CID investigation.
Yeah.
2 or 3 daggers cannot be a match to roaring guns. So the story of police being attacked and the police shooting in self-defense is totally baseless.
So are you suggesting that the police executed the boys that night?
In absolute, this is absolute cold-blooded murder.
Some police officers were arrested but never charged. The case was eventually dropped. Sai Baba has always had a close relationship with the police. Even today, senior officers are special guests at the ashram. With friends in such high places, Sai Baba seems to be untouchable. Any attempt to investigate the goings-on at his ashram, even murder, appeared doomed to failure.
What are you going to say, sir?